Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. Welcome again. Here we are with the amazing Art Giser. And so I'm grateful to have you here today, Art.
Well, I'm really happy and grateful to be here. Looking forward to it.
We were having fun getting technology together. The technology gods and goddesses are with us, I know. And Art has such a powerful frequency that sometimes the technology does get a little different. And I know I've experienced that at times too. You know, my energy starts getting going, but I guess we can both share a lot of stories. But we're grounded in. We're letting this happen. It's a done deal, and I'm looking for my audience really experiencing the power of your wisdom and your energy today. I just, we just met recently, but I just know you have amazing things to share. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you. And I've been listening to your podcast, and I really like it, and like your style and your guests and your message. So I'm really pleased to be part of this.
Awesome. So let's share more about you with the audience. So Art Giser is the creator of Energetic NLP. What a brilliant thing to do, to be the creator of a powerful synthesis of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, spiritual principles and healing, and transformative energy work. He is internationally renowned NLP trainer, executive coach, intuitive, and healer. Art is known for his humor, caring, miraculous remote energy work, and his ability to help people release energetic and unconscious blocks and limitations and open up their miraculous abilities. And you're going to get to experience some of that energy today. I'll be doing some energetic NLP. Art's unique and diverse background includes working with Fortune 100 companies to develop exceptional leaders and teams. 11 years as a medical researcher, NLP, spirituality, coaching, transformative healing, energy work, and intuition development. So with that medical research background, I think that's amazing that he brings that into all this, that background. Art has studied with a diverse group of healers, psychics, and spiritual teachers. He has had 2 empowerments from the Dalai Lama of Tibet. How amazing. So just, again, grateful to have you here, Art. And so let's get right into it. So I've looked into it a little bit, but honestly, I really have no clue yet. Only intuitively do I understand what the heck energetic NLP is. And you did talk to me about it, but it's still like I haven't wrapped my head around it just yet. So tell us, first of all, what is this amazing thing you created, energetic NLP?
Well, I just have to laugh first. My mother used to say, like, I never know what to tell people when they ask what you do. And I go, yeah, I'm never really clear on it either. But with your crowd, the people who watch your podcast, they'll get it. So if people aren't familiar with NLP, and NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Programming, the most famous person in the field is Tony Robbins. And he does this whole Tony Robbins rah thing. And I don't mean that as a criticism, but he has his own style. But the core of his ability to transform people's lives comes from NLP. And I've been an NLP trainer since '85, studied with all the developers. But even when I was young, I was always interested in both in science and the mystical, ESP and just miraculous things. And now, even when I was little, I knew they were both true. And I didn't see them as being opposed to one another. And I still see them as being two different ways of looking at the same thing. And so I started combining NLP with spiritual principles, transformative and healing energy work, including remote energy work, and intuition development. The word psychic's kind of loaded, but as you said, I said psychics and healers. And I'm one of those people, I take the best of everything I've learned and put it together. And then over the years, because I've been doing this 35 years, my students and I have developed our own concepts and techniques. So I guess in a nutshell, it's bringing together both the power of a very logical linear system like NLP, bringing that together with the intuitive, the mystical that I know you do and that you know is so powerful.
Yeah, tell us more about I mean, I think the audience might understand the energy aspect a little bit more than the NLP in my crowd, maybe. So tell us more, just a little like 2-3 minute explanation. What exactly is NLP exactly?
Well, and I'll kind of weave it into my story. So I was always interested in psychology, but years ago, it seemed really fascinating and brilliant, but not right to me. So it always seemed too rigid, and this is exactly how things are. And it takes at least 5 years of psychoanalysis to change. In fact, there's an old Woody Allen movie where he's talking to his girlfriend. He goes, I've only been in therapy 12 years. And I'm not saying they didn't help people, but it was slow and it was very rigid to my way of thinking. And when I first learned about NLP, it was the opposite. They were going, we're not telling you the truth. These are models of human behavior. Work with them, and where they work, use them. When you reach their limitations, improve them. But don't be attached to the beliefs and the ideas. And I thought, oh, this is amazing. And then what they did is they started studying about 6 therapists who did miraculous work with people, got really rapid, miraculous results. And they videotaped them, which, in those days, the videotape machine was kind of like a horizontal refrigerator, by the time you had all this stuff. And so it was very unusual to do that. And they studied them and they put together this whole theory, NLP, about how you can make rapid and deep changes. And it's used, first it was used mainly therapeutically, but you can also use it to transfer skills. So if somebody's very intuitive, like how does somebody else open up their intuition? And to give a different example, if you want to learn to ski or snowboard, you could go to a coach and they tell you how to move your body. An NLP person would teach you how to think like a great skier. And that makes all the difference in the world. I mean, people can't tell here, but I'm short. And I used to tell people, if you could take Michael Jordan's brain and put it in my body, I'd be one hell of a short basketball player. I wouldn't have his body, but I'd be good. I'd be really good.
Right. You'd be better than the average player for sure, right?
But then what they started looking at too is there's a whole like secret coding, secret only in that it's unknown to us consciously. We all have internal coding systems. So if you think of something you believe, you believe it. If you think of something you doubt, you doubt it. If you think of something in the past, it was in the past. If you're imagining the future, it's in the future. There's a whole unconscious coding system that everybody has. Some of it's universal, some of it's very idiosyncratic. And they discovered when you started working with it, you could do really magical things. So it'd be like if I held up a wine bottle and a soda bottle, even if you couldn't read the labels, you'd know, oh, that's wine and that's soda, because it's the shape of the bottle is a code. It's a symbol, a code. Mm-hmm. Well, in your mind, you have ways you code things. And you can take a belief and pour it into the code bottle, the doubt bottle, and all of a sudden you don't believe it. You can take something you want to believe and pour it into the belief bottle, and then you believe it. And you can do that with grief and acceptance. And this is just one little part of NLP, but it's very, and we use metaphors and symbols. So it isn't all like completely linear, but it's a very developed system. And there's certain kinds of personal change that work much, much better with NLP. But NLP leaves out karma, leaves out spiritual contracts, it leaves out ancestral programming on the energy level and just energetic programming, all these things you work with. And so at times NLP will hit all these blocks. And so then it's better to work on the energetic spiritual way. But if you're working energetic and spiritually, sometimes something that would be very difficult, you switch to an NLP mode and it's easy. Right. So I started doing this dance between the two of them, and then they became integrated.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So again, with your mystical and science side, this is perfect, right? So you're bringing the two together. So how awesome is that?
Well, when I was really stuck in life, which I was for years, and this is how I got out of being stuck. I went from being a very adventuresome person to having a really good life, but being stuck in my research job and not knowing what do I want to do, and I don't know, and no sense of, I shouldn't say no sense of purpose, but just I was trying to figure out, but I don't know what kind of job I want. And a woman who'd been my first girlfriend in college went to me one time. She goes, "Art, you're looking for a box to put yourself in. You're not going to find it. You're an unusual person. You're going to have to build it." And I knew it was true when she said it. It took me years to do it, but NLP and the energy work allowed me to completely transform my life. And of course, over 35 years, thousands of other people all over the world. So, oh, can I say one quick thing? One of my specialties, and everybody can do it, I know you know this, but for listeners, is remote energy work. And it works on the recordings too. So I always like to warn people pretty quickly, and I know you will be too, we're going to be running energy. So never listen to anything I'm doing while you're driving. Because the energies I use are meant to get you to go inward and make deep changes, not how you want to be when, like sometimes people go, "I was listening to your CD while I was driving," and they go, like, no. It's like, I'm glad you got away with it, but don't. So I just want people listening to know, if you are, whether you believe in remote energy work or not, between Daniel and I, we're going to get cooking. So don't be driving.
Yeah, I mean, for me, people do say that, some people say, at least lately, it's been coming, whenever I need a reminder of something, I guess it comes to me, but people have been saying, and, literally like 2 people in a row said something like, there's like, or 3 it's usually 3. There's like coding in your voice and whatever you say. And like, I'm like, yeah, that's just something that just is kind of happening through me, from my higher dimensional aspect of myself just flowing through me. And it's so amazing. Like, one of my big missions is just to wake people up to that, right? I mean, there's so much more than we think that it's going on than we realize all the time, all day long, that we're not aware of. And so this energetic NLP, I'm imagining, that would be an application of it for people that want to get more awake and deepen their enlightenment and all that, right? Because you talk about having a miraculous life. I imagine it has something to do with that. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, and I think we're very aligned in believing everybody, I used to believe this when I was younger, that only a few special people have these abilities. And I'll have students come in, and some of my students have been doing energy work 35 years, some are new, and I'll be going, everybody can do this. And for some of them, that's the biggest nut we have to crack, is these are natural abilities. We all have, we're spiritual, vast beings, and we can let these things flow. And there's just been so much programming that you have to be special, you have to go meditate in a cave for 20 years. But so what I mean by a miraculous life, and I'm really glad you asked that, because even though I'm in many ways a new agey kind of guy, there's parts of it that I think have gotten misguided or at least misunderstood. And there's a lot of people, like, they've heard The Secret and the law of attraction, and they believe, if I just think correctly, everything will be good and nothing bad will ever happen. And if something bad happens, and this just, I hate this. So many wonderful people, I'll be talking to them and they're beating themselves up because they think they must be doing it wrong, or they're not visualizing right. And I'll kind of go, there's a collective creation going on. It's like, you're not actually the queen or the king of the universe. And then I'll get into a whole other part of it, but this whole being permission. But for right now, what I call a miraculous life is not being in resistance to life being challenging or difficult at times. That's part of having a human life. It's being able to manifest more and more of what you want. It's also be able to manifest things you didn't even know to want, until you get them. And but it's also dancing with the unfolding of life, whether it's somebody dying or you get sick or whatever, to be able to dance with it, not be into resistance to what is. And part of what makes it miraculous even then is, and I know you know this, is there's always help and support there. There's help, guidance, and support if you know how to open up to it. And as part of that, I'm big on, for my people in my programs, we're always trying to increase our wonderful synchronicities. And my students and I mean, the synchronicities just get so much that it's like, it's like hysterical. You know, the power in that. And as part of having a miraculous life, there's infinite spiritual joy. So you take somebody like the Dalai Lama, in a lot of ways, he has a terrible life. You know, he can't go back to Tibet. The Chinese are trying to destroy the culture. You know, he works with refugees all the time. And yet he writes books on happiness and he giggles and he's not denying or dismissing what's going on. He's really involved with it. But at the same time, he's aware that there's this universal spiritual joy that you can tap into that has nothing to do with how your life is going. So that, to me, part of having a miraculous life is you can be anxious or upset, but you still, when you tap inside, you feel this foundation of support, and it just changes everything. And of course, to use another of the Dalai Lama's concepts, he talks about natural suffering and unnatural suffering. So natural suffering is we're in bodies, we age, things happen to people we care about. I mean, that's part of this whole drama that comedy drama that we're in. But at the same time, there's all this suffering that we create that doesn't need to be there. So our goal is to keep eliminating the unnatural suffering and keep increasing the manifestation of a wonderful life, and at the same time being able to dance with what's going on. So the people listening, whatever side they are on the political spectrum, I don't think anybody's happy at the moment with politics in America. And here in California, we're having all these fires, and you can either be in resistance to it or you can work with it. So to me, all that's a miraculous life: the spiritual support, the guidance from your own spirit and your intuition, and being able to manifest more of what you want and to be able to dance with the things you didn't want.
Right. So that you're in a place where you have the connection, like you said, with intuition, and then with the challenges of life that come up, being here in this human dimension, to learn to utilize like the blend of all of it, right? Your connection with your higher self and the NLP, you know, and all that, all these different, techniques you can use to get yourself into that natural, deeper flow is kind of how I reinterpret it.
No, exactly. That's, you put it well and succinctly.
Yeah, and so one of the things I saw in here that you talk about that I get an intuitive feeling about, but I want to ask you, I don't know what, for sure what you're saying, but one of the things I do know is that one of the things that comes up when people are looking to change their life is that there'll be a part of them, right, that wants to change. And then there's always a part of them that's like, no, I don't want that change, even if they're not aware of it. So, and then you talk about this whole being permission. So, can you tell us more about that? Because it's like, I know like every time I'm suffering with something, even if I'm just in resistance to something, it's always the same thing. A part wants it, part doesn't want it. There's these different parts, even more than one or two parts, but like usually it could be multiple parts. But there's all these different aspects of ourselves that have all these different feelings and whatnot. Different people categorize them in different way, right? So like, I have a history of an inner pusher, for example, like one of my teachers calls it that. Or the inner critic, that's there saying, hey, you could do better, so those kind of ones come up. So like when I think about things I want to manifest more in my life, part of me is I've recognized again and again, like for me and my clients, is part of it is safety. It's like part of you feels like I might not be safe if I let this multi-million dollars into my life. It might create problems, so tell us more about this whole being permission, how it might relate to that, because I have a feeling it must. So,
well, it does, and you described that's one aspect of it. You're describing the different parts of ourselves, and you gave a very NLP-ish description. That was perfect. So, one of the ways that I think we trip ourselves up, and again criticize people like that would be listening to your podcast that are into personal spiritual development and And often you look at people that aren't, and they're not working that hard, and everything just happens for them. But you're going, what the hell? And, and no criticism of them, but it's like I've had clients going, I'm not being egotistical, but I'm smarter than them. I work harder than them. Why do I have so much trouble? But and that gets into soul age and everything. But what part of this is about is that people, we try to reduce ourselves to like we're simple beings, and people then go, well, I have a conscious mind, an unconscious mind, and a body. But there's a lot more to it than that. So people have a spirit, they have their individual spirit, they have their individual soul, they have their conscious mind, their unconscious mind, they have their body, they have their karmic conditions, they have spiritual contracts. And all of those things, if they're not in alignment, you'll either not manifest what you want, or you'll almost manifest it and it falls apart, or you manifest it and then it goes away. Because the different parts of you are like, it's like you're in a chariot with a team of horses and they're all going a different direction. Mm-hmm. And so in the whole idea of the individual soul and spirit, and when I teach my programs, I make people take a pledge at the beginning. They won't believe anything I tell them. And so for anybody listening, I'm not trying to, what I'm saying is, and this is very NLP-ish, this is a model for one way to think about people. It's not the ultimate answer. I didn't go up to the top of Mount Sinai and get this and I channeled it, but you know what I mean? It's just a way of thinking. And unfortunately, people use the word soul and spirit to mean opposite things often. So apologies in advance if I'm using them backwards to the way anybody listening uses them. And you can fix it in your head if you want to. But if you think of the non-physical self, what I'm calling your soul is the part of your non-physical self that's literally closer to your body, both frequency-wise and, it is literally closer to your body. So it's the non-physical you, but it's just sort of a click above your personality. So when people would talk about repairing soul damage years ago, I used to go, well, souls can't be damaged, but I was thinking what I would now call your spirit. But your soul is very connected to this life, very connected to at least some of your other existences and other lives, because they're not all past and future lives. But your soul, at least the way I perceive them, they have wants and needs and fears. So it's kind of like your personality without a body, and confused from a lot of different lifetimes where things were different. But then when you go up into higher frequencies, you get into what I would call the spirit. And your spirit is got the big cosmic view. It's not broken. It's fine just the way it is. And in the way that I look at that, I see the spirit like a perfect parent going, whatever you want, dear. So you want financial abundance? Well, that's a valid spiritual path. You want to be counting pennies and begging for food? Well, that's another valid spiritual path. And, not because it doesn't care, but it's giving us free will, and because it sees the big picture, it sees all these valid spiritual paths. So that's your spirit. And then your soul, of course, has all these wants and needs. And there was that other lifetime where I opened up to my intuition and they burned me at the stake. So I better be careful this time, and all that kind of stuff going on.
People have gone through those ones, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of your people too. Yes. And then the conscious mind, often we have more than one thing we want, even on the conscious level. And then when you get into the unconscious mind, and I love the way you described it, because we use the term parts of the unconscious mind in NLP and energetic NLP. And the reason they started using that is because everybody talks like you did. Well, part of me wants this and part of me wants that. And so there's like these different sub-personalities in the unconscious mind. And, there's it's not like inner child, it's more like inner children. There's the playful Daniel and the sad Daniel and the wise Daniel. And, and so very often the different parts of our unconscious mind are, again, they're pulling in different directions. The one that goes, oh yeah, I want the abundance. And they're going, oh, but it will cause problems and we won't know it. So all that's going on. But what energetic NLP adds to that is we would say, just because you're calling it a part of you doesn't mean it's really a part of you. It may be an energetic, it may be programming, like a whole batch of programming. And usually at the core of it, so let's say somebody has a lot of fear and anxiety, and they have a sense of a young child then who's afraid. Well, there'll be the core of that that's authentic, but around that will be energy they gathered from their parents and other people and spouses and kids and everybody else. But then it gets mushed together. So you just think it's you. So like I say, in NLP, they work a lot with parts, but in energetic NLP, before we work with the part, we drain off the energy that's not really yours, fill it up with your energy. And often it like completely changes, or because one of the principles in energy work is if it's other people's energy in your energy field, you can't heal it. You can release it, but you can't heal it because it's not yours to heal. So you've got the spirit, the soul, the conscious mind, the different parts of the unconscious mind. Then you have the body, and the body has an intelligence, and it has its wants and needs. And then even if you get all of the, even when, I shouldn't say if, because you can get all those aligned, once they're aligned, then you also have to look at karma, where your karma allow it. And the good news is karma is very changeable, but it does need to be looked at. And then there's the idea of spiritual contracts, agreements that your soul or spirit of conscious mind have made either in other lifetimes or this lifetime that restrict you. So in energetic NLP, you have whole being permission when we help people clear the karma and or revise spiritual contracts that are holding people back, and then line up their spirit, soul, conscious mind, the different parts of the unconscious mind, the body. So they're all the horses on the chariot are going in the same direction. And
very, very interesting. Yeah. So it's about getting, everything aligned. And I love that you took the time to, break that down for us. So the idea of whole being permission is that everything basically is a yes, basically to what is wanting to unfold, more or less. Would that be sort of accurate, or?
That's absolutely accurate. And I want people to think of, I do see a being as a unity, but so it's the same way like with our body. We only have one body at a time, but it's convenient at times and useful to go, this is my heart, this is my hands, this is my ear. So, but my ear, hands and ears don't, unless something terrible has happened, exist on their own. So what I want to suggest to people, I think of people like a diamond. They've just got all these facets, but they're one diamond.
Right.
And when we treat ourselves like we're only, am I the nice me, or I'm the me that sometimes gets petty and mean? Well, you're all of that. And a lot of both of those energies may not even be yours.
Yeah.
A lot of that petty and mean part, if you drain off the energy, will completely change. So, but it's just what you said, it's getting everything to say yes. So you're in alignment.
Yeah, that's what I've always said in energy work, because I've been training people a long time too and whatnot, and that's part of our synergy with each other. And it's like I say, basically at some levels, energy is like, it's either a 1 or a 0, like a computer, like either it's on or it's off. I mean, you got to get you need to get the signal, turned on, and then new things can unfold for you one way or another. That signal needs to get turned on. So I love, with the time we have today, we promised people to start getting into some work. Is there a way we can do that? Maybe there's something
Absolutely.
How would we do that? Would you want me to share something with you, or?
Well, let me first ask how much time.
Sure. Approximately, maybe if we have 10 minutes, or if you can do it that, or okay.
So yeah, let me take, let me just check here. Yeah, this feels right. So there's a real simple process for clearing energy that, because we're constantly accumulating energy, and I can take you through it, but at the same time, anybody listening, even on the recording, what I always tell people, on the recording, if you pretend that it's happening right now while you're watching it, listening to it, you will access the energies, because as you know, Daniel, the energies aren't stuck in linear time. So it doesn't matter, 20 years from now, somebody could watch this and they can feel all the energies.
Right.
So it's a real simple process. And also, with your permission, I'll bring in some other energies and I'll talk about what they're doing. In energetic NLP, we always have people put their inner wisdom and their spirit in charge of what happens. So my job will be to get the energies flowing, earth and universal energies, but my inner wisdom spirit will start talking with your inner wisdom and spirit. And even though it may not make linear sense to people, I know you get this, anybody listening later will connect on that level. And then, but the decision of what to clear and what not to clear and what to do with it will be made by your inner wisdom and spirit. And when your inner wisdom and spirit are working together, we've made a name for that. We call that your miraculous self, which is not your high self. It's something you create. So I'd like you to start by, if you'd like, giving your spirit and your inner human wisdom permission to collaborate on this.
Okay.
Right? And anybody listening, just do the same. And just like Daniel did, it doesn't take a speech, just go, okay, collaborate. I'm giving you permission. And then give that miraculous self permission to be in charge of what happens. And we call these energy spas, because consciously you just get to relax, but you're not giving over control to me, you're giving over control to your miraculous self. So it'll make the right decisions.
Yeah. Yes, we're on board.
Yeah, great. So I'd like your miraculous self to inspect your body and energy field right now and identify energies in your energy field that aren't really yours. I mean, they may have been with you since you were in the womb, but they're not really yours and they're not helpful. So any energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful, and they may have been helpful some other years ago, but they're not helpful now. And just let your miraculous self identify them. And in energetic NLP, we access the power of both our spirit and our unconscious minds by using symbols or metaphors. And one I like to use is a symbol of a magnet, because pretty much everybody either played with or saw somebody play with a magnet. So your unconscious mind knows, like if you have a magnet and you have a pin, all you have to do is let go of a pin and the magnet pulls it out. So it has the energy, it's doing the work. You just have to be willing to let go. So imagine out in front of you is a big magnet, maybe the size of a refrigerator. And just use your imagination, just go, okay, it has the ability to pull any energies out of me that my miraculous self wants it to. And we're going to do 4 magnets in total. So this first magnet, in a moment, will be used to clear energy from the middle of your body, your front of your body, and the whole front of your energy field. So right now, just pretend energies are going off to it. In energetic NLP, we just pretend things are working. We don't worry if they are. We just pretend they are. That's good. And then you drop that magnet into the earth and give the earth permission to recycle the energy. So it'll either turn it into pure energy and do whatever it wants with it, or if it should, it will send it back to the owners of that energy. But the earth will figure that out. Float a magnet high above your head. And for everybody listening, your energy field probably goes up at least 9 feet, 3 meters above your head. And there are chakras in the energy field. They're not just in the body. And your miraculous self knows all about this. So your conscious mind, whether you do or don't, doesn't matter. But imagine a magnet floating up high above you and give it permission now for your miraculous self to send up to it any energies from your shoulders, inside your neck, inside your head, in your forehead, back of the skull, in your scalp, in your whole energy field around the upper part of your body. And it's also going to clear energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful out of all the chakras that are above your head. And there are a number of them that have a huge effect on people's lives. But just let your miraculous self figure that out. And while you're working and everybody's working, other energies are coming in to do other things that your miraculous self wants done. So you can just give it permission to do that. Clear programming and blocks. And one of the chakras above your head, Daniel, it's a little stuck. So I'm just going to help you clear it. There you go. And take that magnet and let that go into the earth, and let the energy be recycled. And then my favorite one is put a magnet way behind you, because a lot of energy literally hides behind our backs. And just let your miraculous self identify energies that are from the middle of your body, back of your body, and behind your body that aren't yours and aren't helpful. And those will just start gently and still firmly being pulled out to the magnet. Drop that into the earth. And then the fourth and last magnet is in the earth, and it will clear from the base of your spine through your thighs, knees, your legs, your feet. There's a lot of chakras and energy channels in your legs and feet and toes and soles of your feet. And there's three major chakras that are beneath people's feet, going down about 1 meter, 3 feet. And all those chakras are being cleaned too. So everything from the base of your spine on down, and your whole aura, your whole energy field around it, energies are flowing down to that magnet in the earth. Ones that aren't yours and aren't helpful. No effort. And by the way, if any energies get in the tug of war, just leave them alone for now. And we always want to fill back up with energies. And it isn't just that other people's energies are stuck in our energy field. We leave our energy all over the place. Past, present, future. We leave it in other people's energy fields to help them. Sometimes we leave our energy in other people's energy fields because we're trying to fix them or we're angry at them. So imagine above your head is a gold ball of energy, and let your miraculous self use that as a magnet and give it permission to pull back your energies from wherever you've scattered them. Now, anybody who's listening, if you have really small children, it's appropriate to have a lot of your energy in their energy field, but like when they're really small. But your miraculous self will figure it out. And if you left energy in somebody else's energy field trying to heal them, imagine that as your energy leaves, your miraculous self brings in for them earth and universal energies that will be even better than yours, better for them. So your energy is coming back and collecting in that gold ball. As it does, your miraculous self analyzes it, and any of that energy that isn't really truly yours just goes into the earth to be recycled. Any of the energy that is yours gets cleaned up, made sparkling, and gets sent down into your body and energy field. So you're retrieving a lot of your own energy. Oh, you're doing an excellent job, Daniel. A+, gold star. And then also ask your miraculous self to bring in any earth and universal energies that will support you now and in your next steps in life. So you want to completely fill your body, your cells, your DNA, your chakras, energy channels, your aura. And any excess energy can just go down into the earth. And then take a couple deep breaths, and it helps to stomp your feet, pat your body, and to come back to life, to the earth. And for anybody listening, there were just 4 magnets that you can do it on your own. One in front, one above, one behind, one below. You put your own miraculous self, your inner wisdom and spirit in charge. And then you just use each magnet one at a time to clear. And then the magnet goes into earth and the energy is recycled. Then you put a gold ball of energy above your head. It retrieves your energy, cleans it up, and sends it down to you. And of course, Daniel will have this on his podcast, and I'll have it on my Facebook page and website. So you can listen to it again if you want to be walked through it. So how are you feeling, Daniel?
Great, great. That was really, really awesome. I love that approach. I've done energy stuff with magnets before and vacuum cleaners and stuff like that. But the way you did it, and then you with all these different sides, and the way you walked us through it was different. It wasn't the same as what I've experienced with other things. So really, it was really cool, really powerful. A lot of awarenesses came up that
Great.
I like are kind of like things I kind of aware of, but like came up more fully. So it was really, really cool, really powerful. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I just want to let people know what I recommend to people is when you wake up in the morning, and you can just take 2 minutes and do it. And I'm one of those people, I usually wake up like, but if I take 2 minutes and do this, it's like, hello world. And and if you do it before you go to bed, you'll sleep better. For people like Daniel and I who work with clients, really, really important to do it after you see a client, because almost all of us end up absorbing some of their energies. So, and that's why you can have great client sessions and later still feel wiped out, or teaching a class. I have a lot of people who use this in corporate settings, if they're in a meeting or before a meeting or after a meeting or before a talk. So it's also great. The holidays are, well, depending on when people are listening, will be coming up. So before you see your family, while you're with your family, after you see your family. So.
Yeah, no, this is really good. I mean, yeah, it's always with doing some energy processes, and you took us a little deeper with the 10 minutes worth. It's like, okay, I gotta find even what to say anymore. So I guess still. So, but I really feel like this is like so awesome. And then you have a way of really taking this further with, I know you talk about these energetic NLP energy spas, right? So tell me, that sounds amazing, right? I mean, an energy spa, who doesn't want that? So tell us more about your energetic NLP energy spas.
The energy spas, and I do training programs, but even those have spas in them. So in the energy spas, it's, and I got the name from my students because they'd go, well, we like the whole training programs, we love them, but we also like the spas. And they go, it's like going to the spa, because you don't have to, you put your miraculous self in charge and you relax and the energy does all the work. So, like getting a massage, it's like, okay, make me better, kind of thing. So in these energy spas, and what Daniel was referring to, I have one at www.enlp for energetic NLP, and then the number 10.com. So enlp10.com. That's an hour-long energy spa, and it's all about increasing your personal power, your confidence, and being in action. And because it's an hour just on that, we go a lot deeper, and we clear unconscious and energetic programming and ancestral programming and a lot of other fun things. And so I would invite any of you who, if you enjoyed what we just did, this is just a little taster. The energy spas are he says humbly, they're very, very powerful. I've been doing them for years, and even on the recordings, because again, you just pretend it's happening when you're listening to it, and you'll get the full energy.
Yeah, so this is a free gift, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a free gift, and I saw testimony on the page. I did check out the page. I haven't had a chance to get into it, but I did see the testimony. And for those of you that also may want to experience, going deeper with this, and also experiencing the opening of your energy centers, like your third eye, things like this, that is all part of what some of the people are reporting. They're experiencing this sort of shift through the free, I love that, Art. I mean, I love like I always pitch my meditate and make money here too.
Right.
I just love pitching because I know it works so well. I use it, I use it all the time. So it's like these things work and they're free gifts. So it's exciting to share. I know your work is amazing just through what we experience. So it's like, definitely check that out. ENLP10.com, right? So yeah, so go there and we'll put it in the show notes too. And I'm definitely interested myself to check out more about what you're up to.
Yeah, and just so people know, I mean, I don't know how many video, energy spas I have recorded. So when they sign up for that, they'll be on the mailing list. And of course, it's easy to unsubscribe. Just click a link. Not that you'll want to, but but I have, I don't know, 50, 100, at least 100 different energy spas that are available. And those are free. And then, of course, I have virtual programs that we go into a lot more depth. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. So at this point, usually what I do is, before we start really wrapping everything up, is I like to reciprocate and do just some quick energy scanning for you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've heard you do it. Yep, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a little tuning in. Love Art up here and just see what's going on. Let me see what's coming in now. The first thing they're just giving me a general is a shaman energy. So they just want me to remind you of, that you really, the power you have of working with the energy, like you're really an energetic shapeshifter, I mean, in so many ways, So you actually have that sort of potential, like if it were interesting to you, like you could like change the color of your eyes or things like that, things we hear that deep shamans do, right? So I feel that energy in you. They also show me like a Swami sort of energy. So this is probably past life. You probably know about this stuff, but you have a lot of magical energy. So you have a lot of ability to bring miracles. Not, it's funny you use the Miraculous Self. It's like you have the ability to bring miracles in your own life, but you can also utilize it for others that are hanging out with you and let it be easy. Like there's just a turned on energy that's just like, oh yeah, that's done. In certain cases, in certain things, right? So I just get this miraculous, magnetic energy, that just lets things happen. And then you've got that in the lower power center. You got that measuring out energy, like from that researcher background, like, okay, we've got to, like put things on scales or something, like weighing things out, and so that's really cool. And I mean, and then the grounded energy, your energy is pretty grounded. Now you do get like one thing like to talk about on the flip side of where things could be more integrated is,
yes, please.
You feel like you get twisted around sometimes. So, with all the different ideas and opportunities, there's like a little bit of that lapdog self. It's like, oh my God, let me get on that. Let me do that. Oh, no. So
guilty as charged. Yes.
So some of that is good because you're curious, you're learning. But at the same time, it can keep you a little bit too restless maybe at times. And then some of your own like stuff might come in, like some sort of doubts or worries might just come out of the blue. Like, why am I doubting myself or wondering about these things? Oh my God, where did that come from? Like, so some of this energy creates that feeling and those thoughts. So I'm noticing that. And, but yeah, there's a deeper grounding that wants to happen with your energy field is what it kind of comes down to is from my interpretation of the energies. And I just do a minute or two. So I just want to share a few things with you today. And you're really, really awesome.
If I can quickly react, that was so right on. I've been telling people that, sometimes I've been chasing my tail lately, and that's exactly the words I use. And just the way it's like, I'm doing this and this, and it's all good, but then it's like, 20 unfinished things. And also everything you said was spot on. And a few other people that are, on your level of being able to scan and read, have said, oh, you have the shaman. And I've never studied shamanism, but everybody, people keep going, you're a shaman. And I go, yeah, I feel like I am, even though I have to add it to my bio.
Why you're so connected to the mystical already is because of the past lives.
Yes.
You've already done these things. So, but then you want to get more into the scientific. That was part of the next stage of evolution. So here we are. So you combine, you bring it all together in this life with that too. So it's a really beautiful journey, and there's always so much more I could share. What I want to share with our listeners is if you want to check me out, you want to, possibly get some energy scanning from me. If you're a light leader or a world-changing spiritual entrepreneur, go to yoursacredpurpose.com. There's an opportunity to apply to meet with me, and I go totally intuitively. So if I get a go signal, I'll meet with you. And then the other thing is there is the Meditate and Make Money meditation there. And 18 minutes a day. People that utilize it on a daily basis are people on the back from anywhere saying they have more peace with money. They're seeing more money coming in. So that, and I experience the same. And, if I don't listen to it, I notice the difference. I'm like, oh, whoa. Okay, we need to start listening again. That really does help. So anyway, check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. So
Can I just real quickly say that mini scan was really fantastic. And I'm just trying to encourage people to do it because as you point those things out, I feel them strengthening in me.
Yes.
Which is one of the reasons to get a scan, is that people being able to really focus on it like that brings it to the surface. Like I feel really great. It's like
awesome. I'm quite grateful to hear that. Yeah, and that's true because energies are dropping in. Awareness of those things drop in, and it does. It absolutely strengthens you. So. Yeah, and you'd be one to notice it even more so, because you're that kind of person.
Yeah. It was great. I'm not impressed easily, just so you know, in our field. So just for people listening, I'm not, I don't give compliments I don't mean, and I'm picky because I've been doing it for a long time, and so that was great. That was very impressive.
Awesome, thank you. And so we're going to give it to you to wrap up in terms of if you have any last words, any last things you want to share with anybody.
Yeah, just that that everybody has miraculous abilities. Not everybody is interested in developing them, but if you are, anybody can do it. I mean, for years I was afraid to even try because I was afraid what if I can't do it? And I want people everybody can do it, and to really start recognizing that we're all these vast spiritual beings. And when you say hello to that every day, it starts changing your life. So if you say hello to that and use like the magnets and clear your energy, I mean, those are sort of easy little things, but they're really powerful over time. And so just, no matter how much you like yourself now or critical of yourself or both at the same time, when you start getting that you're this amazing spiritual being, you start getting that everybody else is too. And by recognizing that, you start bringing it out in other people. So just an honor and a pleasure to be with you, Daniel, and be with all the people that will be watching this, listening to this. And I just really encourage you to go for having a miraculous life. It's like, I can't believe how long it took me to figure that out. So go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally available.
Yeah.
Always available. That domain's never sold out. All right. So it's here for everybody.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm so grateful for you, Art. Thank you for being here today, sharing your amazing work as well, and what you've done today for us and for me. I'm really grateful. And for everyone that's listening, you keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking here on Spiritual Rockstar Podcast Show. See you the next time, everybody. Goodbye for now. Much love.
Bye.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.